Well, thanks, Andy, first of all, for having me on this wonderful program. I think the first thing is, I'm sort of 7 months into my role, and by way of background, I've been in both, media and technology for the majority of my career. I worked at a fabulous company, Disney, for more than a decade, and then had the fortunate opportunity to be part of the team that launched Hulu. And since then, I've worked at small tech companies and also most recently at Apple. So I really believe that the future of media is you have to be a really strong, talented media executive who's part of a company that's telling great stories. And you also have to be a technology executive, which is the ability to provide outcomes for brands. And it is that sort of ethos that really attracted me to Warner Media. At my heart, I'm really a builder. And I think we're at the sort of the next phase. The first phase was back when we were launching Hulu, which was in 2007. And it was this idea around sort of taking beloved content and distributing it at that time on your laptop. And people thought nobody would do that. And obviously lots of people did that, and that's evolved from there. And now you're at this phase of media, which is around sort of taking this wonderful content. In our case, we have 100 years of the best IP in the history of media, and taking that content and going direct to consumer as part of that proposition, as well as taking advantage of all the distribution points we have from an existing basis, such as our linear cable channels and brands. And so you put those two together and it's a really exciting proposition. And so as I got here, I think the first thing that I wanted to do was to get to know the team. And I can't tell you how many smart, passionate, talented, customer-focused executives we have across this organization, blending the creativity and the storytelling that we have from our studios and networks. And so those two together are a very powerful combination. And so getting to know them was sort of my first step, and just learning more about the company and the brands that we have, everything from Wonder Woman to Friends, everything from Game of Thrones to DC Comics. We have everything, Harry Potter. We have just incredible brands that sort of resonate with the hearts and minds of people all across the world. And so getting to know the company, I think, was the first thing. And then we started to sort of make some changes. And when I actually started, we were in the midst of a transformation. And then I made some changes in the sales organization, as well as most recently sort of optimizing the entire organization so that we can deliver solutions to customers in a more effective way. And sort of the word I talk about a lot is how do we reduce friction? And so to reduce friction between us and the customer, and to build solutions at very high levels and really big ideas that can resonate with consumers.
So JP, I wanted to ask about the upfront, big day coming up next week. Tell us about some of the key elements you're presenting, and of course, one big thing is HBO Max, the advertising support that's coming out, soon. Tell us about the kind of the opportunity for buyers to buy Warner Media across different platforms.
Sure. Thanks, Andy. I think, first of all, I'm not going to give away all the secrets. I think you'll have to wait till the 19th. And I'm really excited. We were in Burbank last week shooting on the studio lot, and we're going to have the things you might expect, which is incredible talent. We're going to release a lot of new content. We're going to talk about our advertising proposition to the marketplace. And we're pretty excited about that. But I think sort of at a high level, what I can tell you is this is the first time we're getting together now as one company. We had a lot of different silos in the past. And over the last 8 months or so, we've brought that all together. And when you unleash the power of Warner Media, the 100-year history I spoke about before, great things happen. And at the end of the day, we're telling stories to entertain and inform consumers all around the world. And brands have an opportunity to take part in this IP. And we believe it's sort of a multiplier effect, which is you take great content, you attach brand stories to that, and you also are able to deliver that to audiences in unique ways. We have some of the best first-party data in the world when you take our mobile offering through our parent AT&T, fiber, HBO Max, which you mentioned, as well as all our touch points with our brands, whether that's TNT, CNN, et cetera. We have a tremendous storehouse of data that we can actually bring to the party and allow advertisers to connect the right ad to the right person at the right time. In addition, obviously, we'll talk about our scale. 85 million Americans a month choose to subscribe to one of our networks. That's an incredible reach. We're number one in news, number one in syndication. We have the number one and the number two network in all of cable. Last year, TBS, TNT, and True TV reached 250 million consumers. That type of reach is very difficult to get, even in today's sort of fragmented landscape. So we're excited to talk about that. We're going to talk about big ideas and just the possibilities. And what that means is how advertisers can connect with the intellectual property that we have, which I spoke about before. And we're building, compelling packages across all of our touch points, whether that's linear, digital, et cetera, that advertisers can tap into and can be really successful about delivering their brand message. I think HBO Max with ads you talked about, we're going to talk about that. We announced that we're launching in June, and we're really excited about it, and we'll have some more exciting announcements on the 19th. But when I think about HBO Max, what I think about is the fact that we'll bring all of this content to bear and to consumers directly. And on top of that, we can weave in a very elegant, non-intrusive ad experience so that there's a tremendous harmony between the amount of advertising you watch and the amount of content you consume. We'll have the lowest ad load in streaming, and that's something we're really proud of. And that will allow advertisers' messages to resonate in great ways and drive incredible efficacy. And I think the last area I just mentioned is data and technology. So we have an ecosystem, as I mentioned, of sort of first-party data, and we're going to talk about how we deliver that in a privacy-compliant way and how we sort of amplify the message from a customer in the fact of sort of sight, sound, and motion, content alignment, data applied to it to multiply the impact that an advertiser would have.
JP, we've spoken about addressability for a long time. There's a lot happening. The definition of it, of course, is changing, but there's a lot happening with national addressability. Where does that stand? Where do you see that going? And what does it mean for Warner Media?
Andy, that's a great question. And I'm really proud to talk about addressability. And the reason why is that we are the pioneers of addressability. We're not sort of testing and learning in this environment. We've been in it and we've owned it for over 8 years through our DirecTV addressable. So we're doing campaigns, and we've done campaigns for thousands of advertisers over the years. Last year was really big for us. We did a lot of political advertising as well last year. So we really understand this business. We have experience not only in the technology and how to do that properly, we have experience in how to take advertisers' campaigns and deliver them to the right person at the right time. This idea of going from one to many to one to one. And so our experience there is unparalleled, and we are going to apply that experience to national addressability. And we'll have some announcements about that at the upfront, but we're moving very, very fast to have a national footprint by the end of this year.